to get their hands on Smiley. And for a dog who'd spent the first year of his life on a chain without a lot of human contact, he couldn't wait for the extra love and affection. Hannah, completely in her element now, walked Smiley around to each resident and made introductions. The way the seniors lit up when Smiley put his big head on their laps brought tears to my eyes.
"Get your hands off me, I can do it myself,"
I heard a woman demand. The voice hadn't come from the activity room. It was fainter than that, farther away down the hall somewhere. I would have ignored it, since the woman sounded irritated, not frightened. But I recognized the voice as Opal Dixon's. Opal was one of the first people I'd met when I moved to Moonrise, an elderly woman who lived out in the country with her younger sister Pearl, and she was someone I'd grown quite fond of over the past 3 years. I tapped Annie Blankenship on the shoulder. This close, she smelled like sweat and lemon drops. "I'll be right back," I told her, trying not to wrinkle my nose at her scent. She nodded, then turned her attention back to the pet therapy session. I stepped out of the room and used my Werecougar senses to stretch my hearing, blocking out the housekeeping staff complaining about having to clean urine that had spilled from a catheter bag, and sought to isolate Opal's speech patterns. At the third room down the hall, I hit pay dirt. Opal was sitting up on the side of the bed nearest the window, while a frazzled-looking young woman was trying to put a shoe on Opal's right foot. Opal tried to slap the aide's hand away.
"I'm going to use my good leg to put a foot up your—"
"Hey, Opal," I said before she could finish the threat. "What are you doing here?"
"Mariah is helping her dress for lunch,"
the woman in the first bed said. She was a large lady with wiry gray hair, one side frizzy, the other side plastered to her head as she rolled toward me. Her right foot was uncovered, and I saw a crusted sore on the outside of her small toe. The rest of her toes were a light shade of purplish pink. There were a few diseases that caused poor circulation, but with the woman's size and the almost sweetly alcoholic scent wafting from her direction, I was betting on uncontrolled diabetes.
"I'm getting tortured," Opal disagreed. "And I can answer for myself, Jane."
Opal's glasses were nearly off her face. She pushed them up with a finger slide up the bridge of her nose and glared at her roommate.
"I can also dress myself."
She snatched her sock from the aide's hand.
"I don't need your help."
Mariah stood up. "Suit yourself, but I can't let you get in the chair on your own. I'll get in trouble for that."
"Shoo fly,"
Opal said with disgust. The aide quickly got out of kicking distance. Jane, the roommate, waved a pudgy hand at me, then slid her bedside table drawer open and took out a caramel. She held it up.
"Want one, honey?"
Politely, I took it and slipped it into my purse. "Thank you." She smiled, then took another one out for herself.
"My grandson brings them for me. I've always been partial to caramel chews. And he loves me."
"That's real nice," I said, not sure I meant it. If the grandson really loved her, he'd bring her some healthier treats. I looked at Opal. "So how in the world did you end up here?" Opal forced a smile when her gaze met mine.
"I broke my damn hip, kid."
She pointed to her bandaged right thigh.
"It's hell getting old."
"Did you get a replacement?" The bandage was a little low for a new joint.
"Land's sakes, nothing that dramatic. I broke the big bone. Doctor says I'm lucky it was a clean break near the center and not closer to my hip. Otherwise, it would have been a bigger surgery, and I wouldn't be allowed to put any weight on it for a month. Can you imagine me sitting around, doing nothing, for that long?"
There was a bead of perspiration forming on her upper lip as she grunted and cussed, trying to put her sock on. "I can't imagine it at all." Opal and Pearl were active septuagenarians. They had lunch at the Cat's Meow every day, and on Wednesdays, they went to the courthouse to see who was being charged with what crimes. It was cheap entertainment for the sisters. I crossed the room to Opal and squatted. "I'll help her, if that's okay."
"Fine by me," Mariah said. "She's all yours."
I smirked up at my friend. "You know, she's just doing her job."
"And doing it badly," Opal quipped.
I gave Mariah a sympathetic look, but she didn't seem all that mad about Opal's critique as she busied herself getting Jane sitting up on the side of the bed. Mariah put a soft boot on the woman's right foot, then carefully eased it down.